we're dealing with classification. We talked about the different levels that people like Linnaeus came up with. His biggest one was kingdom. And so we typically talk about kingdoms and the kingdom systems. When Linnaeus did it, he had two kingdoms, plants, animals. Since then, we've realized that's not quite accurate. We started breaking apart things like, oh, well, fungi are their own kingdom, and things and so forth and so on. We currently have a 6-kingdom system. People say we actually should have either a 7, 8, or even 9-kingdom system because some of the things we've assumed is actually probably not very accurate. So this could be changing in the future, but right now we have a 6-kingdom system. So the first part is in a domain, because domains are bigger, domain Archaea, and in it is the kingdom Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are considered the oldest organisms on the planet. These are really rare but weird organisms that live in extremely hostile environments and can survive in almost all kinds of conditions that most things can't, because some of them don't need oxygen to survive. Some of them eat methane, some eat sulfur, some eat these very toxic chemicals and are perfectly fine with it. So they're very old and very weird. You find them in places like thermal vents at the bottom of the ocean where they're living in environments that kill most organisms, but they survive because they can live in hot water pools and things that are just extreme environments. Domain Bacteria claims kingdom Eubacteria, which is what most of the bacteria you think of when you think of bacteria, things like Streptococcus and that cause strep throat, or Staphylococcus, which cause staph infections. Those are members of this kingdom. So they are the largest group of organisms. They outnumber all other organisms combined. There are just so many bacteria species in the world, and they're everywhere. They're in the soil, they're in the air, they're in you, they're on you, they're everywhere because that's just the way it is. It's really their planet, we just live here. So they live things like this under a microscope, or like this, string-like bacteria. The domain Eukarya are your eukaryotes, like the kingdom Protista. Protista is a weird one because it's kind of a catch-all. If we don't know where to go, if we know it's a eukaryote, we don't know where to put it, we put it here, especially if it's microscopic and single-cellular. This is one that we think that probably should be broken up into 2 or 3 different kingdoms because there's so many things that are just not really closely related to each other when we look at DNA. Things like this. This is one that's commonly found around here in water. It's got little cilia around the outside, help it to swim around. They're pretty common, they're harmless. They just sort of go around their business all in a regular time frame, just swimming through the water. Things like amoeba, which cause things like amoebic dysentery, those are in this group as well. Like these. These guys are all different amoeba. Amoeba are named that way because they can change their shapes. Kingdom fungi. There are over 100,000 species of what we call fungus. That includes things like mushrooms, toadstools. Also includes things like mold and things along those nature, yeast. Kingdom Plantae. Their job is to be multicellular oxygen producers. By the way, if you're a fungus, your job is to be what's called saprophyte. You live off of dead things. That's what they do. They eat, destroy, and break down dead things, which is why they're useful in our environment because they help to get rid of things and basically clean up the environment to get rid of all the decaying animals and plants by basically breaking them down to nutrients. Kingdom Plantae are multicellular oxygen producers, includes your flowers, things like that, trees. The one we know of, because we are part of it, Kingdom Animalia Multicellular consumers, things like cheetahs, snakes, snails, cows, us, dogs. All those things fall in this category. Fish, they're all parts of Kingdom Animalia. Insects, all those little invertebrates fall in this category as well. So this is a very large group that we're familiar with because we are a part of it.